Tears? No, the tears were flowing on the floor. Game 7 goes to San Antonio. 111-103. The final score. The Spurs, for the first time since 2014, are headed back to the NBA Finals, and they will face off against the New York Knicks in a rematch of the 1999 NBA Finals, where the Spurs won in 5 games. Victor Wembanyama, the MVP of the Western Conference Finals, his squad beating the Thunder in 7 games. Welcome to the floor here inside of Paycom Center. Jacob Toby here on Spurs Post-Game Wrap. Elation, emotion, every single adjective that is in the sense happy and excited and thrilled was on this floor just when the players were out here. They just went back to the locker room. The Spurs are headed back to the NBA Finals after this long drought. 2014, the last time when they faced off and beat the Heat. They are back in the NBA Finals, and it took every single person on this roster to get this thing done tonight. You go down the line, it obviously always starts with Victor Wembanyama. He didn't have to go crazy because the role players started off this game and ended this game in style. The three-point shooting, the rebounding. The rebounding was a big disadvantage for San Antonio at the start. So many offensive rebounds by Oklahoma City, who again, the Thunder missing Jalen Williams, their all-star, and A.J. Mitchell, but the Spurs, it did not matter because they took control. They started this game on an 18-8 run. They basically had the lead throughout. Okay, Oklahoma City led by, I believe, as many as 4 in this game, briefly just a couple times. But after that, the Spurs always regained composure and got the job done. You just go down the list, and there were so many guys that contributed to this win. Victor in tears on the floor. R.C. Buford, Spurs CEO, was on the floor. He was in tears. Mitch Johnson, the whole coaching staff, what a job that they did. And this is not just about the players. This is about the entire traveling party, the coaching staff, the medical staff, the people that, the equipment people, just every single person, the broadcasters. Dan Weiss called this game beautifully on the radio tonight. We're going to hear his final call in this show as well. We're going to hear from Dan Weiss. We're going to hear from Mitch Johnson. We'll hear from Victor Wembanyama. We'll also hear from Sean Elliott. Well, we checked in with Sean Elliott after the final buzzer sounded. My man, number 32, back home partying at a watch party, but he was nice enough to stop by and have a few moments for us. So let's send it to him. Let's hear from number 32 right now. Sean Elliott, his Spurs facing the Knicks, just like they did in 1999 in the NBA Finals. Take a listen.
My man, Sean Elliott, joining us from San Antonio, Texas. Your Spurs are headed back to the NBA Finals, my man. How did this team do it? They win Game 7 in Oklahoma City. How did they do it, bro?
Unbelievable. You know, Jacob, I think the biggest thing for me is that our guys went in and they believed that they could win that game. And I think that's the most important thing. They had the belief that they could actually win that game on the road. And they came out, they punched the OKC Thunder in the mouth early on. I love to see that. And then they were just able to weather the storm. And that's what you have to do on the road. You know that they're going to make a run at you. You know that the fans are going to get behind them. And that happened there midway through the first half. And our guys just continued to weather the storm. They're down by 7 there right before the half. And then they made that little run, got that lead back to 3. I really liked the way they did that. And then, you know, when you go in the locker room in that situation, you feel good about yourselves. And then they came out, they played well in that third quarter. And then they did enough down the stretch in the fourth. I loved De'Aaron Fox's play in the fourth quarter. I thought he was exceptional. Dylan Harper played a terrific all-around game. Julian Champagnie was fantastic. Devin Vassell made plays. Victor was great as well, like he always is. It was just, and Keldon made plays. I mean, you go down the line. It was a lot of fun to watch. Just extremely proud of the guys.
They're mobbing Victor right now because he just won the MVP for the Western Conference Finals. He was in tears, Sean. The buzzer sounded. This means so much to him to get this franchise back to the Western Conference Finals. It's his league now, and I think this series showed that.
Beyond any expectations that we had for him and for this entire ball club going into this season, he's fulfilled all the expectations. And it's crazy because you think about the hype that he received coming into the league, he's surpassed it. And so our guys are ready, Jacob. I mean, I thought at times, you know, the inexperience, I should say, would maybe come back to haunt us. And at points it did. But when you go into the defending NBA champions home and you beat them in a game 7, throw out all the inexperienced talk. That doesn't matter anymore. Our guys are ready. If they come with the right frame of mind, they have a terrific opportunity to come away with the Larry O'Brien.
Last one for you. Rematch of 99, back against the Knicks. This obviously brings back a ton of memories for you. It's going to be a special thing to see. Victor at Madison Square Garden, the Knicks in San Antonio. How do you feel about that, man?
I'm excited. It's obviously two very different ball clubs, but you have a dominating big man. Like we had two dominating big men. They have great wing players, great small players. Jalen Brunson is a phenomenal guard, obviously, and they have a lot of great role players. And by the way, former assistant coach Mike Brown is the head coach now for the New York Knicks, and so it's going to present a lot of challenges for us. And so it's going to be an interesting series. I hope everybody knows that this is going to be just as challenging, if not more so. The Knicks beat us 2 out of 3 this year. They played well against us, beat us in the in-season tournament championship game, if we haven't forgotten that, in a game that really had a lot on the line. And so our guys have to be prepared. They're going to have to bring their A game every single game. You can't spoil one opportunity. It's going to be a great experience for our guys, and hopefully they come out with the victory.
All right, go celebrate. I know you're drinking some wine tonight, so go celebrate, and we'll see you at Game 1 of the NBA Finals, and we'll hear from you too throughout the finals.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jacob.
Right.
Good to see you, buddy.
Much love. Yep.
That's my guy, Sean Elliott. We're going to get him on the post-game show throughout the NBA Finals. You bet your bottom dollar on that. I think we'll maybe hear from him on the radio broadcast as well with Dan Weiss. We'll hear from Dan Weiss in this show. We'll hear from Mitch Johnson. We'll hear from Victor Wembanyama. We'll get a couple other guests sitting next to me as well to break this thing down. The Spurs are off to the NBA Finals. The Spurs win another playoff game. That means single second of Victor Wembanyama. 42 minutes, 7 of 15 from the field, 22 points, 7 rebounds. Hit 3 threes in this game. Defending Gilgeous-Alexander, sending that thing out of here. 1 block in this game. That was it on the 2-time league MVP. Big bucket here to end the third. 4.6 seconds left, fading away. And again, big jumper after big jumper. Didn't necessarily see him down low, kind of the same carbon copy game as he played in Game 6. Jumpers winning this thing for the Spurs. He was phenomenal. They were 17 of 40 from 3 in this game. And of course, Victor named Western Conference Finals MVP. He has said over and over again that he has played in some big games. You know, he loves to play in the big ones over in Europe, whether it is in the Olympic gold medal game against the U.S. with France, or when he was playing for Metz 92 or Nanterre. He played in some big games when he was 13, 14 years old, even younger, and he loves these moments, and he stepped up big time. And just to see the emotion that Victor Wembanyama had when the buzzer sounded, I assumed it would come, because we've seen him shed tears in the regular season after some big wins. It was after maybe the game winner against Phoenix, he shed some tears. A couple games earlier in the season, we saw him show his emotion, and he's talked about that post-game as well. He's not afraid to show his emotion, and what a win for him to lead this squad on the road in Game 7. 2 big games in this building inside of Paycom Center. The 40-20 game, only the second Spur to ever do that in the playoffs, besides Big Dave. Did that in Game 1 and comes back in Game 7. And just the final numbers from this game. The rebounding outlook did not look good to start. There were so many offensive rebounds by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yes, the final numbers back there in the control room. The offensive rebounds were a big problem early in this game, but the Spurs, they battled back, and they were able to fend off those rebound numbers. They ended up with 40 rebounds to 38, so they out-rebounded them by 2. Take a look at some of the other numbers, the field goal percentage, the threes. Both teams missing some free throws. Oklahoma City misses 5, and the Spurs miss 5. So, and then the points off turnovers all season long. When the Spurs can run and when they can score off turnovers, that's OKC's game. And we know that throughout these games, again, this is the 13th time that these two teams have played. Every single time, it seems like both of these teams play the exact same style, and that's true. It is the same style. defense turn you over, run on the fast break, and hit some threes. And it ended up going in the Spurs' favor. Both teams scoring the same amount of points in that third quarter. And then the fourth quarter, the Spurs outscoring Oklahoma City to get this thing done. Mitch Johnson, the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs, in his technically first full season, second season as the head coach, at the podium right now. His team headed to the NBA Finals.
Mitch, I know there's a lot to cover tonight, but I'm just wondering what your overriding takeaway from tonight is, your overriding memory of how this played out tonight.
The players did what they've been doing all year, and they met the biggest moment that's been in front of them up to this point. And there's some pretty cool memories I'll take away from that.
We talked a lot about the experience all year, and you kind of mentioned it on the floor out there.